All right, folks. I do apologize for the signal cutting out. The device overheated. Look, we are under a tent. We got fans and stuff, but Florida's going to Florida. So I believe this is heat number 2 of the girls 500 freestyle. These are long races. Do you happen to catch who won? Which lane won the previous? No? Okay. Okay. All right. Huh? We're all right. So we're on heat 2 of 4. All right. And in lane 1 we have Emma Holman out of Bayside. In lane 2 we have Desiree Pauzinski out of Space Coast. In lane 3 we have Alana Burgos Pizarro out of West Shore. In lane 4 we have Lucy Cummings out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 5 we have Sierra Stevenson out of Rockledge. In lane 6 out of Cocoa Beach we have Deborah Norris. In lane 7 we have Lauren Bender out of West Shore, and in lane 8 out of Rockledge, Cameron Balzer in heat 2 of 4. Folks, again, we'd like to thank our sponsor who helped make this happen. Geiger Promotional Products provides branded merchandise to help you promote your brand. Contact Dan Zink for custom branded apparel, pens, tote bags, backpacks, awards, notebooks, and more. Find them online at dzink@geiger.com or contact his mobile number at 856-986-9164. Again, find him at danzink.geiger.com. Again, folks, we're battling with technology. We're battling for signal here. As Alan said, we have the county's probably tallest cell phone tower here, and we get no signal here at the pool. So final lap there on lane 7 for Lauren Bender out of West Shore. Here, we'll go ahead and Lauren Bender. And Lauren Bender will finish first in heat number 2 out of West Shore. As now we'll wait for the others to finish. All right, folks, I think I'm collected back together, but that's even a stretch. If anyone truly knows us here at BSN, we're never fully collected together. We're kind of just go along as we can. All right. So we'll tell you about heat number 3. In lane 1, we have Madeline Loeffler out of Merritt Island. In lane number 2, Lauren Williams out of Satellite. Lane number 3, Caroline Piercy out of Titusville. In lane number 4, Reese Red out of Satellite. In lane number 5, Kendall Thornton out of Titusville. In lane number 6, we have Ariana DeBella out of Melbourne. In lane number 7, out of Edgewood, Julia Van Ness. In lane number 8, we have Piper Faherty out of Melbourne. And it looks like easy set and pace here. Again, also, wow, we have this time, as it looks like they're in lane number 6. That's Ariana DeBella out of Melbourne, has the early lead. It'll be interesting to see how she paces herself throughout this heat. This is heat number 3 of 4. Coming up tonight, after all of this ends, we're staying until a champion is crowned. After this, we got Friday night football. 3 great games for you here on the Brevard Sports Network. We got Vieira and Bayside. We have Melbourne and Palm Bay. And, of course, our matchup of the week, Cocoa versus Seminole. 3 great games for you here tonight. And Ariana DeBella still so far with the lead, about a quarter of a pool length lead. And in second here in lane number 4, we got Reese Red out of Satellite. Red seems to be keeping pace, just a slight bit behind DeBella. So there you go. In lanes 4 and 6 is where your race will be competed in. As DeBella looks like she's slowed down just a hair. And Reese looks like she has jumped ahead. She has picked up her pace just a hair, and right now it's enough to hold the lead. And Reese now with a little less than a quarter of a pool length ahead. Maybe less than that, maybe like half a body length ahead of DeBella. And Reese Red has extended that lead a bit. $150 meters left, or yards. Come on, Reese! And Red, easy going pace. Come on, Reese! That in an event like this, you really have to find that pace where you can kind of stay ahead, or at least stay near the top, where you're comfortable, but you don't burn yourself out in the first, 200-300 yards. And Red with now a little more than a half a pool length ahead. And Red here in lane 4 out of Satellite High School. So she's got to go about 4 more pool lengths. Does Red. And she is just flawless coming out of those kicks off the wall. And the thing about Red is this has been a consistent pace as Red hears that final lap, final lap bell. Red currently, Red sitting at close to 5:53 currently. And if there's anything left in the tank, this is where you burn it right here. Your record holder in the girls' and Reese Red will pick up the victory. Reese Red out of Satellite High School. And she will win heat 3 of 4. Now on to the 4th and final heat of the girls 500 freestyle. In lane number 1 out of Cocoa, Mika Trulula. In lane number 2, Haley Toofer out of Edgewood. In lane 3, out of Edgewood, Lindsey Brown. In lane 4, Elena Rollin out of Rockledge. In lane 5, Addison Bradley out of Satellite. In lane 6, Caitlin Rideout out of Merritt Island. In lane 7, Abby Hightower out of Titusville. And in lane 8, Caroline Brewer out of Satellite. And the early lead looks to be to the young lady or young athlete out of Rockledge, Elena Rowland. Rollin has just the slightest of leads. That's a nice pace there, set by Rollin. You're good. You're good. And what it looks like, Elena Rollin. Roland? Elena Roland seems to have the lead here. She's keeping a nice pace. Roland keeping a great pace, and she's about a quarter of a pool length ahead of second place. Again, Coming up later on tonight on the Brevard Sports Network, 3 high school football games on. We have Bayside and Vieira, Melbourne and Palm Bay, and Cocoa and Seminole. Of course, then we have the post-game show. I myself will be at Vieira Regional Park for all-day Pop Warner on Saturday. Busy weekends here on the Brevard Sports Network. Coming up next is going to be the boys 500 freestyle. That'll be 3 heats. And Rowland is on her final lap. Eleanor Rowland on her final 25 yards. And Rowland will pick up the victory for the Rockledge Raiders. As now we will move on to the boys 500-yard freestyle. Had a chance to stop by and see someone I got a chance to know really well, and that's Coach Greg Claiborne, athletic director at Rockledge High School. I'm a class of 2015 graduate, so it's always good to stop by and see Coach Claiborne. All right, so now we head to the boys 500 freestyle. In heat number 1, lane number 2, Gage Finelli out of Bayside. In lane number 3, Nicholas Gamboa out of Satellite. In lane number 4, Finn Murrigan out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 5, Alec Boyer out of Satellite. In lane number 6, Adam Stills out of Vieira. And in lane number 7, Mason Fitzgerald out of Bayside High School. And we only have lanes 2 in Nicholas Gamboa. Lane 5, Alex Boyer. And in lane 6, Adam Stiles. I'm sure if I'm saying it wrong, someone will correct me. Honestly, a beautiful floor today. Look, it's warm, but there's enough of a breeze slightly to let you know that there's some wind here. If it could be like this tomorrow when I'm doing Pop Warner all day, that would be fantastic. 3 nice easy paces, it looks like so far, pulling slightly ahead there in lane number 2. It's Gage Finelli. No, how dare you want to get out of this? Get out of the Florida heat. Gosh, people. As you can see, I'm totally grr about it. Again, this is heat number 1 of the boys 500 freestyle. See if we can find out some record holders of the freestyle. Bum 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 bum. For the boys 500 freestyle, the Cape Coast Conference record is 4:30.63. It was set by, well, who else? Elliot Weissel back in 2002. If you haven't had the pleasure of watching the kids swim, if you can either find swimming, he swims for Indiana, or even go back and find some of his videos of him swimming in high school. It's just a masterpiece to watch that young man just do what he does. Try to find out who's got the lead. I feel like it's Gage Finelli. But I'll know who has the lead when I see where the bell's being rung from. It's one of the longer races here, or the longest, the 500-yard freestyle. All right, so it looks like the lead currently is held by the young athlete in lane number 5, Alec Boyer out of Satellite, as he's about to finish, or about to start his final lap. Boyer and Styles. Boyer and Styles are going neck and neck with each other. And they're both on their final lap. Down and back to determine a winner. And folks, this is where this one's going to get exciting. Right here in lanes 5 and 6. As you see, Boyer has now picked up the pace. And it's an all-out sprint now. And it's going to be, looks like it's going to be Alec Boyer who will take the victory for Satellite High School. Alec Boyer picks up the victory now as we head to heat number 2. Heat number 2 of 3. Gerard Abdul out of Cocoa Beach. In lane number 2, Vesvalad. I'll be honest, I cannot pronounce the name, so I'm not going to butcher that any more than I have to. Lane 3, James Joyner out of Space Coast. In lane 4, Declan Bradley out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 5, Misael Tameo out of Titusville. In lane 6, Colby George out of Titusville. In lane 7, Aiden Clark out of Astronaut. And in lane 8, Jonathan Brown out of Satellite. As here we go, heat number 2 of the boys 500 freestyle. As it looks like young gentleman here in lane number 4, Declan Bradley out of Cocoa Beach, looks to have set his pace. He is being battled by Titusville's Misael Tameo. Am I saying that right? Misael? Tameo falling back just slightly, almost as if he's slowing down his pace to try to have something in the tank for the end. Currently in the lead here in lane number 4 is Declan Bradley out of Cocoa Beach. He holds a slightly, maybe half a body length. Bradley Declan starting out. He's being followed very closely by Misael Tameo. And Bradley Declan looks to have extended the lead just a little bit. But again, still got a bit in this race to go. We'd like to thank our sponsor. Geiger Promotional Products provide branded merchandise to help you promote your brand. Contact Dan Zink for your custom branded apparel, pens, tote bags, backpacks, awards, notebooks, and more. Contact him at dzink@geiger.com or call his mobile number at 856-986-9164. That's finding him at danzink.geiger.com. I'd like to thank him for stepping up for allowing us to be here yesterday for the diving portion of the Cape Coast Conference, and now for the swimming portion of the Cape Coast Conference Championships. And if I've been counting correctly, and there's very well a chance I could have screwed that up, I believe number 4, Declan Bradley, is in the lead. It's Declan Bradley, followed up by Misael Tamayo, followed up by Colby George. So Cocoa Beach and Titusville battling it out slowly here. There's the flip. And Declan Bradley has extended his lead by just a hair, picking up his pace a little bit. Again, folks, at some point this weekend, everything that you see here on the Brevard Sports Network, from diving to the swimming, will all be uploaded up onto our YouTube page. That's Brevard Sports Network on YouTube. It will be uploaded at some point this weekend. There's going to be a lot of uploading being done between this Friday Night Football. I've got Pop Warner all day Saturday. So it will all be uploaded periodically. It's also going to stay up here on our Facebook page, so you can go back and rewatch some of your favorite races of the day and go collect whatever highlights. And Declan Bradley on his final lap. One more wall kick. And it's a close race. But Declan Bradley first to kick off. And Declan Bradley. Now, wait a minute. He's being given a little competition. But Bradley looks like he will take the win out of Cocoa Beach. And what a race that was. He said, I really wish I could get these times. I wish the scoreboard was working. I would like to know. Heat, and we're in the final heat of the boys 500 freestyle. Out of Edgewood, Josh Kirkpatrick. In lane 2, Axel Kuntz out of West Shore. In lane 3, Jackson Brookshire out of Titusville. In lane 4, Lucas Brown out of Vieira. In lane 5, Reef Parman out of Rockledge. Out of Edgewood in lane 6, Christopher Toofer. In lane 7, Ethan Sharon out of Titusville. And in lane 8, Logan Kaiser out of Cocoa Beach. As the swimmers take their spot. Into the water they go. You're good. You're good if you want to come across. As got a pretty tight race here in lanes 3, 4, and 5. Again, this is the finals of the boys 500 freestyle. Coming up next will be the girls 200-yard freestyle relay. Again, we're going to stay here till all the champions are crowned. It looks like out in the lead is from Viera, Lucas Brown looks to have the lead out of Viera, as he has seemed to break away from the pack. I believe. Lucas Brown looks to be in the lead. Again, if I'm counting correctly, and there's a very good chance I could be messing that up. I believe it's Lucas Brown out of Viera. I believe. I could be wrong. And thank you very much. And wow, for once I'm actually correct. It's Lucas Brown, looks to be in the lead, getting the bell rung for the final lap. And Lucas Brown has about a half pool length ahead of everybody else. Out of Lucas Brown for Viera, the final kick of the wall. Lucas Brown will take the victory for Viera. And followed up next will be Jackson Brookshire coming in second for Titusville. And now we head on to the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay. 2 heats as as we have this race finish up. So, the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay. In heat number 1, in lane 2, Space Coast. Lane 3, Bayside. Lane 4, Astronaut. Lane 5, Heritage. Lane 6, Melbourne. And in lane 7, Palm Bay. Here we go as we get set up for it. Now, we do not have the names of the individuals in each part of the relay. We just have the school names, so. 200-yard freestyle relay. Here we go. And let's see who jumps out ahead, and looking like already jumping out ahead. Here is Heritage. Heritage takes an early lead here in the first leg of this relay. Heritage with their second leg of the relay in the water. Beautiful turn and kick off the wall. Heritage with a commanding lead right now. Heritage followed up by Space Coast, followed up by Melbourne. And Heritage with the kick off the wall. Though the gap has closed, Space Coast is making up some really good time here. In close behind there, here, lane number 4. That's Astronaut. Astronaut also making up some good time. Heritage with its third leg in the water. Space Coast looking to make this a race. Astronaut not far behind. Astronaut in second. Astronaut just might have taken the lead. I don't know. They're neck and neck at the moment. And, folks, I'm not sure that it was either Astronaut or Heritage. It was Astronaut pulling out the lead there. When a come from behind victory, Heritage held the race at majority of the way, and Astronaut with a great come from behind victory. Now into heat 2 of 2 in lane 1, Titusville. Lane 2, Cocoa Beach. Lane 3, Rockledge. Lane 4, Vieira. Lane 5, Satellite. Lane 6, Edgewood. Lane 7, Merritt Island. And lane 8, West Shore. And into the water. We wait to see who's the first to touch. Rockledge with the first kick off the wall. Rockledge with an early lead. Followed by Cocoa Beach. Rockledge in the pool. Cocoa Beach with their next leg in the pool. So far, Rockledge and Cocoa Beach are the two going at it. And Rockledge takes a little bit of a lead there. Rockledge, Cocoa Beach, followed by Titusville. And Rockledge has their next leg of the relay in the pool, followed by Cocoa Beach, followed by Titusville. And Satellite not far behind. Rockledge, Cocoa Beach, Titusville, Satellite, all in it. Satellite with their next leg in the pool. Satellite firmly now in second, trying to battle. Rockledge currently leading this race. And Rockledge will finish first place, followed up by Satellite High School. Boys 200-yard freestyle relay, as Rockledge wins the girls' second heat. In heat number 1, in lane number 1, O'Galley. Lane number 2, Astronaut. Lane number 3, Bayside. Lane number 4, Cocoa Beach. Lane number 5, Edgewood. Lane number 6, Heritage. And lane number 7, Palm Bay. Everyone's in.
Let's go, Nate.
And it's a furious start.
Pick it up, Nate. Let's go. Let's go.
What it looks like. Edgewood may be leading this, followed up
Let's go, Nate.
by Heritage. Edgewood and Heritage. Neck and neck. Now followed up by Cocoa Beach. Cocoa Beach fighting their way in there. Edgewood with just a hair length ahead of Heritage.
Let's go, Mason. Come on, Carson.
Here we go. And now, wait a minute.
Let's go.
Looks like Bayside said they're not out of it yet. Bayside in a close second.
Come on, Carson.
Edgewood still currently holds the lead as they get their next leg in.
Let's go, Mason.
And Edgewood with the first to kick off the wall.
Pick it up.
And Edgewood will come out with the victory. As this race finishes up, we head to heat number 2. Lane 1, Merritt Island. Lane 2, West Shore. Lane 3, Viera. Lane 4, Satellite. Lane 5, Titusville. Lane 6, Rockledge. Lane 7, Melbourne. And Lane 8, Space Coast. The final heat of the boys' 200-yard freestyle. All right, sorry, folks, we do apologize. Continuing to battle this signal issue, it looks like Satellite and Titusville battling it out. And Satellite first in the pool, quickly followed up by Titusville. It's going to come down to it. Satellite and Titusville. Here's your race right here in the center of your screen. That felt great. And Satellite looks like it barely edging it out. And Satellite will come out with the victory. All right, none of the equipment is damaged by water, so we're all good. All right, so for the 100-yard backstroke in the ladies division, there are 7 heats. Heat number 1 will be out of Palm Bay, Kiana Lee. In lane number 4, Sadie Willoit out of Space Coast. And in lane number 5, Emma Vesio out of Palm Bay. Just 3 swimmers. As try to dry off the water, make sure we don't lose the rest of this heat sheet. And this is the girls' 100-yard backstroke. And currently, Sadie Wilhoit, thank you. Sadie Wilhoit for Space Coast in the early lead. And Sadie Wilhoit continuing this impressive lead. And Sadie Wilhoit picks up the victory. All right, come on. All right. Now in heat number 2, out of Heritage in lane 1, Crystal Cassell. In lane number 3, Sarah Koskela out of Merritt Island. In lane number 3, Abby Smith from Rockledge. In lane number 4, Louisa Gardoni out of Heritage. In lane number 5, Nadia Borowski out of Melbourne. In lane number 6, Catherine Waters out of Cocoa Beach. In lane number 7, Sabrina Ortega out of Heritage. And in lane number 8, Natalie Hernandez out of Heritage. And this race is off. it looks like in the lead, it's going to be Catherine Waters looks to be in the league. Holding a small lead over her counterpart. First to get the kick off the wall. And a violation of some sort. Currently still in the lead is Catherine Waters out of Cocoa Beach. And Catherine Waters will take the victory for Cocoa Beach. As they finish up this race, we'll tell you all about heat number 3. Heat number 3 for West Shore in lane 1, Claire King. In lane 2, Sophia Conjura out of Melbourne. In lane 3, Lilani Goldcamp out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 4, Angelina Jones out of Rockledge. In lane 5, Lillian Ainsworth out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 6, Kayla Thomas out of Bayside. In lane 7, Olivia Minot out of Vieira. And in lane 8 will be Hannah Livorsi out of Space Coast. I apologize if I butchered that. As thank you very much. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced it in the past. Just seeing the finish here of heat number 2. Now we're on heat number 3. Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. And checking out here, no one with too much of an early lead. Here in lane number 2, we got Sophie Conjura out of Melbourne. Looks to have a slight bit of an early lead. I'm good.
You don't want to break.
I'm good.
So if I walk out of here, you're finishing.
Yes.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah.
Brevard Sports Network. Yeah, that's on there.
Yep.
There it is, right? Yep.
And it looks like the young student athlete from Rockledge, Angelina Jones, looks to have now the slight lead.
All right, buddy.
Got it. And Jones with a great lead there. Jones keeping a nice pace, and I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were behind me. Jones picks up the victory for the Rockledge Raiders here in heat number 3. Heat number 4, we have Madeline Jones out of Bayside, Kennedy Collins out of Rockledge, Haley Strong out of Space Coast. In lane number 4, Rachel Guy out of Titusville. In lane number 5, Delaney Barnett out of Edgewood. In lane number 6, Ayla Gordon out of Bayside. In lane number 7, Cecilia Pope out of Edgewood. And in lane 8, Savannah Casady out of Merritt Island. In heat number 4 of 7. And the Titusville product, Rachel Guy, looks to have a good lead in this one. Probably half a body length ahead of second place. Delaney Barnett in Edgewood seems to be sitting in second. Rachel Guy with the kick off the wall. And Guy Rachel's keeping a nice pace. And Rachel will come out with the victory for Titusville. On to heat number 5 as they finish off this race. Arabella Belcher out of West Shore. In lane 2, Maya Recupero out of Merritt Island. In lane 3, from Satellite, Brianna Knight. In lane 4, Sierra Liddick out of Space Coast. In lane 5, Lily Gibbons out of Titusville. In lane 6, Reagan Fox out of Merritt Island. In lane 7, Riley Smith out of Bayside. And in lane 8, Adeline Kook from Astronaut. And this is the 100-yard backstroke. Sierra Liddick seems to have fallen into second place, currently being led by, looks like lane 5, Lily Gibbons looks to be in the lead. Lily Gibbons with probably half a body length lead. Gibbons with a kick as she heads for, as the crowd gets, no, cheer. It adds to the broadcast when we hear people cheering. And Lily Gibbons will take the win here for Titusville. Move on to heat number 6 here. In lane number 1, Lucy Perkesin out of Vieira. In lane number 2, Allison Nadan Ortega out of Titusville. In lane 3, Piper Fahardy out of Melbourne. In lane number 4, Carrie Demouche out of Vieira. In lane number 5, Noemi Thibault out of Edgewood. In lane 6, Summer Stocks out of Satellite. In lane 7, Samantha Fisher out of Titusville. In lane 8, from West Shore, Madison Shee. And here we go. Currently Piper with it looks like she has the lead. Just ever so slightly. Piper Fahardy. Neck and neck with Noemi Thibault. They kick off the wall at the same time. Thibault looks to have edged out just a slight bit of a lead. It's going to be a close finish. And Thibault will come away with the victory.
Go, Abby!
And now we're on the heat 7 of 7 here. The defending Cape Coast Conference champ, Abby Clayton, will sit in lane number 4. Lane number 1, Camelia Lopinto from Melbourne. In lane 2, Annabelle Rowell from Edgewood. Again, in lane number 4, Abby Clayton from Cocoa Beach. In lane number 5, Mackenzie Wyatt from Rockledge. In lane number 6, Annabelle Philpott from Satellite. In lane number 7, Charlotte Hansen from Satellite. And in lane number 8, Nikki Knobloch from West Shore. And Clayton with a slight lead as she is defending her Cape Coast Conference championship. She's got some competition there in Mackenzie Wyatt out of Rockledge. So they both touch the wall at the same time. Abby seems to have gained the lead there off the kick of the wall. Clayton off the wall kick. She now takes more of a lead here. Abby Clayton. And Clayton will defend her Cape Coast Conference title. Next event, the boys 100-yard backstroke. We have 6 heats. So how dare you want to lean in the shade? Gosh. In heat number 1, it's Isaac Funderburk out of Bayside. In lane 4, it's Chris Atwood out of Rockledge. And in lane 5, Colin Weinbrenner out of West Shore. Again, we'd like to thank our sponsor here who made this possible. Geiger Promotion Products provide branded merchandise to help you promote your brand. Contact Dan Zink for your custom branded apparel, pens, tote bags, backpacks, awards, notebooks, and more. Contact him at dzink@geiger.com or call his mobile number at 856-986-9164. Thank you to Geiger Promotions for stepping up and sponsoring both yesterday's Cape Coast Conference Diving Championships and today's Cape Coast Conference Swimming Championships. Chris Atwood for the Raiders looks like he's holding a comfortable lead as he finds himself needing to adjust his path. As a violation has been, I believe I know that violation was the swimmer went into the other lane. And Chris Atwood will come away with the victory here in heat number 1. Let's take you on to heat number 2 of 6. In lane number 1 from Heritage, Oscar Ellis IV. In lane number 2 for Astronaut, Cameron Luba. In lane number 3 from Space Coast, Miles Ventura. In lane number 4 from Edgewood, Felix Dowdell. In lane number 5, Mason Ellers from Melbourne. In lane number 6, Sean Kettering from Melbourne. In lane number 7, Jacob Dawadi from Palm Bay. And in lane number 8, Ethan Omet from Melbourne. And they're off.
Let's go, Oscar!
Here we go.
Kick, Oscar!
And the early lead looks like it goes out to number 3, Miles Ventura from Space Coast, who has a slight lead here. Oh, check that. Sean Kettering from Melbourne is actually in the lead. Two swimmers from Melbourne battling it out here. It's Sean Kettering and Mason Ellers. And Ellers looks like he's jumped out to the lead. And Ellers with a come-from-behind victory for Melbourne in heat 3 of 6 as they finish this one up. In lane number 1, Liam Parsons out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 2, Bryce Newman out of Merritt Island. In lane 3, Garrett Hall out of Merritt Island. In lane 4, Diego Trelillo out of Rockledge. In lane 5, Caleb Davis out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 6, Nick Horbron Highland out of Astronaut. In lane 7, Nicholas Gamboa out of Satellite. And in lane 8, Mason Galbraith out of Rockledge. And they're off. Heat 3 is in the water, and
Come on, Caleb! Come on, Caleb! Come on!
and here in lane number 5, Caleb Davis looks to be in the lead.
Come on, Caleb! Come on!
And we have the Caleb Davis fan club right next to us here on the Brevard Sports Network.
Come on, Caleb! Come on, Caleb!
And Caleb Davis still holds the lead.
Come on, buddy! Come on! Come on, Caleb! Come on, Caleb! Come on!
Caleb Davis with the kick off the wall.
Go! Go! Come on!
If he can keep this pace, Caleb Davis will take it here in heat number 3.
Come on, Caleb! Come on!
And a violation has been called. I don't know which lane. And Caleb Davis will take the victory. Caleb Davis out of Cocoa Beach. In heat number 4, in lane number 1, we have Joshua Blow out of Bayside. Lane 2, Jonathan Brown out of Satellite. Lane 3, Kellen Ahmed out of West Shore. In lane 4, Griffin Kirby out of Edgewood. In lane 5, Braden Hathaway. In lane 6, out of Heritage, we have Jared Fantry. In lane 7, Carson White out of Heritage. And in lane 8, Austin Welton out of Vieira. Take their marks, and they're off. And we'll see who gets the kick off the wall first. We're watching. And it's going to be here in lane number 5. Braden Hathaway from Merritt Island. Looks like he has a slight edge in lead. Braden Hathaway. Followed up over there by, in lane 1, Joshua Blow out of Bayside in second. Here we go, here in lane 4, Griffin Kirby. Here out of Edgewood. Edgewood and Merritt Island duking it out right here, along with Bayside over in lane 1. This one's going to be a close one. Edgewood, Merritt Island, Bayside. And the final touch-up, I believe that was number 5, Braden Hathaway, but I could be wrong. It looked like Hathaway touched and popped up first. And in heat number 5, lane 1, Liam Porter out of Melbourne. Lane 2, Joshua Lowenstein out of Merritt Island. Lane 3, Thomas Wyman out of Space Coast. In lane 4, Jackson Sweet out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 5, John Bobalak out of Vieira. In lane 6, Mikey Appling in Edgewood. In lane 7, David Smith out of Titusville. And in lane 8, also out of Titusville, Sam Heath.
Let's go, Jackson!
Again, this is heat 5 of 6 of the boys' 100-yard backstroke. And as they pop up, it's a dead heat to start. Who gets the first kick? And right here in lane 4, Jackson Sweet takes the lead off of the kick. And Sweet, first one to get the kick off the wall.
Come on, Jackson!
Jackson Sweet holding a good lead at the moment.
Jackson! Come on, Jackson! Pick it up! Get him on the turn! Hit the turn!
And Jackson Sweet
Come on!
about body length ahead. Looks like he's picking up some speed. And Jackson Sweet picks up the victory for Cocoa Beach. And we're now in the final heat. 6 of 6 in lane number 1, Matthew Mahoney out of Titusville. In lane 2, Jack Knight out of Satellite. In lane 3, Brady Zink out of Vieira. In lane 4, Chaz Schoit out of Rockledge. In lane 5, Hayden Lester out of Titusville. In lane 6, Aaron Gordon out of Edgewood. In lane 7, Cooper Hewitt from Cocoa Beach. And in lane 8, Andy Guan out of West Shore. Wow. Lead already taken out by Schoit. And Schoit I think Chaz is trying to test our equipment to see how waterproof it really is. But as I make the joke, Schoit neck and neck with Hayden Lester and Schoit. It's gonna be a close one. Schoit, Hester, right there in the middle of your screen. Who's going to be the first to touch? And it's going to be Hayden Lester, I believe, with a come from behind, just edging out Chaz Schoit. What a race that was. And now we head to the girls' 100-yard breaststroke. All right, here we go. In lane number 1, Julie Light out of Heritage. In lane number 2, Sabrina McGovern out of Rockledge. In lane number 3, Heidi Sampson out of Merritt Island. In lane number 4, Sophia Fateau out of West Shore. In lane number 5, Stella Daniels out of Edgewood. In lane number 6, Lauren Taylor out of Space Coast. In lane number 7, Lona Wall out of Melbourne. And in lane number 8, Sarah Goodrich. And right here in lane number 4, Sophia Fateau looks to be in the lead. Half a body length in front of second place. And the first to kick off the wall is Sophia out of West Shore. Sophia Fateau keeping a nice pace. Look at the form. Kick off the wall. And Sophia Fateau finishes with the victory. And in heat number 2, in lane 1, Chloe Ordner out of Space Coast. In lane 2, Layla Rollins out of Vieira. In lane 3, Isabel Sisson out of Rockledge. In lane 4, Hannah Jones out of Merritt Island. In lane 5, Darby Bass Knight out of Vieira. In lane 7, Sophia Case out of Palm Bay. And in lane 8, Paula Gerstenkorn out of Merritt Island. I apologize if I've butchered the name. If the family's watching on the Facebook feed, they can let me know, and I will make the correction. Heat 2 of 6 as they enter the water. It's going to be, looks like we got ourselves a tight little race here. Looks like Vieira, the young woman from Vieira, Sarah Arredondo, looks to have a slight lead. And when I say slight lead, I mean the slightest of leads. Currently in a race there with Isabel Sisson from Rockledge. And we got ourselves a tight race here. This one's going to be tight. Here in 5, Darby Bassnight. Looks like she might be in the lead. Sarah Arredondo. And Bassnight. Looks like she has edged out the lead and the victory. Darby Bassnight. All right, on to heat number 3. Riley Emmerman out of West Shore. Out of Edgewood in lane number 2, Kalia McMahon out of Edgewood. In lane number 3, Hannah Lombroya out of West Shore. In lane number 4, Jamie Coy out of Titusville. In lane number 5, Nia Larson out of Astronaut. In lane number 6, Jessica Setico Warren out of Space Coast. In lane number 7, Hope Fleming out of Astronaut. And in lane 8, Brianna Gick out of Titusville. And it looks like here, Jamie Coy looks to have the slight lead. Chloe's grandma watching from California. Jamie Coy with the slightest of leads. She's looking to extend it here off the kick, and she does. Coy now is neck and neck with Nia Larson. And it might be Larson coming out with the victory. Nia Larson. Nia Larson out of Astronaut with a come-from-behind victory. In heat number 4 of 6, lane 1, Mia Ballack out of Heritage. In lane 2, Summer Mallory out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 3, Alyssa Layton out of Space Coast. In lane 4, Miranda Benyon out of Edgewood. In lane 5, Lumina Cryer out of Bayside. In lane 6, Melina Lawhead out of Satellite. In lane 7, Jenna Goral out of Merritt Island. And in lane 8, Hannah Newbar out of Heritage. And we got another tight race here. in the center of your screen between lanes 3, 4, and 5. It's going to be a tight one here, folks. Looks like pulling out slightly ahead is Alyssa Layton out of Space Coast. And now, right here in front of you, Miranda Bayan. And Alyssa Layton. Layton comes up short as Miranda Benyan comes up with the victory. What a tight race that one was. And now down to heat number 5 of 6 from Cocoa Beach, Caroline Waters. In lane number 2, Lila Bailey out of Vieira. In lane number 3, Ada Cognetti out of Cocoa Beach. In lane number 4, Morella Johnson out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 5, Reagan Faherty out of Melbourne. In lane 6, Emma Dooley out of Satellite. In lane 7, Mariana Fernandez out of Titusville. And in lane 8, Sasha Garcia out of West Shore as they are off. And who's going to kick off the wall first? Looks to be in the lead. In lane number 3, Ada Cognetti. And Cognetti holding just a ever so slight lead. And Cognetti holds maybe a head length ahead over second place. Folks, and I apologize for the slow connection. We have been battling this signal all day long. It's going to be a tight race here between Cognetti and Johnson. Cognetti now pulling ahead. She can see the finish line. It is within her reach. And Cognetti will pick up the victory. Down to the final heat. In lane 1 from Satellite, Ayla Williams. In lane 2, Alicia Barnes out of Rockledge. In lane 3, Addison Bradley out of Satellite. In lane 4, Autumn Flatch out of Heritage. In lane 5, Kaylee Smith out of Bayside. In lane 6, Sophie Shu out of Vieira. In lane 7, Ava Sotito out of Rockledge. And in lane 8, Edgewood's Sydney Gordon. And here we are, right here in your screen. There in lane 5, currently has the lead. Kaylee Smith from Bayside. Smith with half a body length lead. Kaylee Smith. First to kick off the wall, about half a body length ahead. And she is really picking up the pace. This place is going absolutely insane right now. Smith with the touch off the wall. Kaylee Smith halfway there. And wait a minute. Autumn Flatch, I think, caught her there just at the end. That's the way. Wow. What a race. Yeah, don't click that spam link that posted in our chat. All right. For the boys, 100 breaststroke. There we go. And it looks like and they're in lane number 1. Lane number 1 will finish first. That's Shupang Zhu out of West Shore. I hope I got that last name right. And in heat number 2, lane 1 out of Rockledge, C.J. Kearns. In lane number 2, Nick Hobrin Holland out of Astronaut. In lane 3, Nathaniel Beasley out of Vieira. In lane number 4, Noah Lynch out of Merritt Island. In lane number 5, Larkin Isakason out of Titusville. In lane 6, Zachary Fuller out of Bayside. In lane 7, Luke Glass out of Cocoa Beach. And in lane 8, there's no 9, Thomas Nagy out of Edgewood. And into the water, and here they go. And right here, right in the center of your screen, is Noah Lynch out of Merritt Island, currently with the lead. Currently being followed up by the Titusville product, Larkin Isakason. And that breeze feels amazing right now. And Noah Lynch has just taken full command of this race. Noah Lynch out of Merritt Island. Now, wait a minute. I say he took full command, but Larkin giving his best shot. Larkin may have overtaken the lead. And Larkin with a come-from-behind victory. And in heat 3 of 6 now, in lane number 1, Joaquin Savelos out of Vieira. In lane number 2, Noah Horn out of West Shore. In lane 3, Connor Fitzgerald out of Bayside. In lane 4, Carter Hope out of Space Coast. In lane 5, Jasper LaBerge out of Satellite. Lane number 6, Aaron DeVere out of Merritt Island. In lane 7, Jaden Schaefer out of Bayside. And in lane 8, Andrew Gutman out of Titusville. And here we go. And right here, Carter Hope with a slight advantage. He gets the kickoff. It's going to be a tough race. And Jasper LeBurge giving him a race, as well as Aaron DeVere. Carter Hope touches the wall at the same time as DeVere. It's Hope and DeVere. Hope and DeVere fighting for first. Currently sitting behind those two is Jasper LeBurge. Carter Hope. And the kickoff. And wait a minute. Look down at lane 6. Jaden Schaefer. Schaefer making this a race. Schaefer out of lane 6 from Bayside. This one's going to be tough, folks. It's going to be a close call. And Schaefer will pull out the victory. Jaden Schaefer out of Bayside High School. And we are on to heat number 4 of 6. In lane 1, Ethan Vest out of Vieira. In lane 2, Caleb Fulcher out of Merritt Island. In lane 3, Christopher Montez de Aca out of Heritage. In lane 4, Chris Sawyer out of Astronaut. In lane 5, Ricky Spieler out of Titusville. In lane 6, Christian Glasser. In lane 7, Robert J. Osseline. And in lane 8, Max Madel for Vieira. And another close one here, but jumping out here in lane 4 is Chris Sawyer, currently in the lead, but being given some competition out in lane 6 by Christian Glasser. Sawyer edging out just a little bit of a lead. Can he keep up this pace? He's going to have to, because neither competitor looks like they're going to slow down. Sawyer also being challenged there in lane number 5 by Ricky Spieler. And Sawyer and Spieler going at it. Sawyer. Just that. Check that. The Melbourne product, Christian Glasser, now looks like he's taking a slight advantage. Glasser out in lane 6. Glasser has sped up his pace. He looks like, can he? Will he? Christian Glasser pulls out the victory for Melbourne. Thank you. Christian Glasser from Melbourne comes out with a victory. Now on to heat number 5 of 6. Lane number 1, Cristiano Pereira out of Melbourne. In lane number 2, Joshua Hanneman out of Cocoa Beach. In lane 3, Enzo W. out of Melbourne. In lane 4, Connor Brown out of Edgewood. In lane 5, Alex Wu out of Edgewood. In lane 6, Thomas Good out of O'Galley. In lane 7, Josh Kirkpatrick in Edgewood. And in lane 8, Malachi Christian. And in lane number 6, it looks like it's Thomas Good. Has a slight advantage, now followed up by number 4, Connor Brown. Connor Brown edges out the lead. And Brown now with the lead. He's got about half a body length ahead of second place, but wait a minute. They're in lane number 6, making a comeback is Thomas Good. It's going to be between Good and Brown here. And Brown looks like he just has the lead. Here we go. It's Good. It's Brown. At the finish, Thomas Good will take the win out of O'Galley High School. And where else? Yep. Where else but here, right here in Brevard County, you got a swim meet going on. You got a rocket launch going on. This is what I call, and you know what? It's not completely hot and miserable here in Florida. This is a great day. All right. In heat number 6, lane number 1, Gavin G out of Titusville. In lane 2, Logan Flatch out of Heritage. In lane 3, Isaiah Bish out of Merritt Island. In lane 4, Gavin Schumacher out of Satellite. Lane 5, Zach Q out of Rockledge. In lane 6, Sawyer Hackett out of Melbourne. In lane 7, Thomas Clary out of Satellite. And in lane 8, Colin Guan out of West Shore. And it looks like Gavin Schumacher out with the lead. Schumacher out with a half body length lead. Schumacher first to touch the wall. And Schumacher coming in for the final wall touch. And there's the kick off the wall. Schumacher. And there he is. Gavin Schumacher from Satellite High School looking to pick up the victory. And Gavin Schumacher with the victory. In heat 6 of 6, on to the next event, the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay. All right, folks, hold on. Give me one moment, folks. I'm gonna mute this and take a drink myself, and we'll be back with the girls' 400 freestyle relay. All right, here we go. 400-yard freestyle relay. In lane 2, Palm Bay. Lane 3, Bayside. Lane 4, West Shore. Lane 5, Space Coast. And in lane 6, Heritage. And here we go. Here in lane number 4, West Shore has jumped out to a nice lead. West Shore. With a nice lead there. And West Shore has taken a commanding lead here with their first leg of this relay. And West Shore about a half a pool length ahead of everybody else. West Shore with their second leg of the relay in the pool already. The closest one is Space Coast in its second, but again, they're about half to 3/4 of a pool length behind. And West Shore got out to an excellent start, and they are just continuing to build upon it. Again, this is the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay. Heat number 1 of 2. I mean, you want to talk about a dominant performance by West Shore today. I mean, in this race is just complete domination. Third leg of the relay has entered the pool already for West Shore. And West Shore just absolutely just and there's West Shore's next leg of this final leg of this relay into the pool. Next one up is Space Coast in second place. And West Shore. And West Shore will officially claim victory and making it official with a dominating performance. Now we got a race for second place. It's going to be over there between Bayside and Palm Bay, racing for second place. Excuse me. And Bayside finishes second, followed up by Palm Bay. And in heat number 2, lane 1, Merritt Island, lane 2, Melbourne, lane 3, Edgewood, lane 4, Rockledge, lane 5, Satellite, lane 6, Titusville, lane 7, Vieira, and lane 8, Cocoa Beach. Here in heat number 2 of the girls' 400-yard freestyle. Here we go. And we're in heat 2, and here come and looks like the Rockledge Raiders have jumped out to a minor lead. Raiders followed up by Satellite, followed up by Edgewood. Titusville and Satellite fighting for second as the Raiders have jumped out to the lead here by about half a body length, possibly a full body length. Sending it now to about a quarter of a pool length. And Rockledge has their next leg of the relay in the pool, followed up by Titusville. Followed up by Satellite. And what a performance out of Rockledge. After this, we're down to our final event, the boys 400 freestyle relay. Now, folks, here's how we're going to do that. We are going to stay live after all the events are completed for the final totals and them announcing the winners. And the Raiders with a dominating performance right now. Followed up by Satellite. And Rockledge, I believe that's their final leg of the relay, has now entered the water. As here we are. And Rockledge will make it official right here. The Rockledge Raiders will make it official and take heat number 2 of the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay. Folks, it's almost time for the last event of the day. 2 heats of the boys' 400-yard freestyle relay. So again, what's going to happen is we're going to stay live while they calculate the results and bring you the result reveal live right here on the Brevard Sports Network. And then after they reveal the results, we will take the live down. We'll do interviews and things like that with the winning teams. And then we got to pack up and get ready to go do Friday Night Football. Friday Night Football post-game show, and then tomorrow I'll be at Suntree Vieira for Pop Warner all day long from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So now, here we are. Heat 1 of 2. In lane 2, O'Galley. In lane 3, Heritage. Lane 4, Merritt Island. Lane 5, Melbourne. Lane 6, Space Coast. And lane 7 is Palm Bay. And Merritt Island looks like they are going neck and neck with Melbourne at the moment. Melbourne edges out the slight lead. So Melbourne, followed up by Merritt Island, followed by Space Coast. And Melbourne has now jumped out to a slightly bigger lead of first place. Melbourne followed by Merritt Island, followed by Space Coast. Space Coast not going away quietly there at in third place. They're battling for second. But right now, Melbourne currently with the lead. And their second leg of the relay is in the pool, followed by Merritt Island, followed by Space Coast. And Melbourne about half a body length ahead here in this relay. And Space Coast has slowly fought their way into second place. And now, wait a minute, Space Coast looks like Space Coast is taking the lead from Melbourne. It's the third lead change of this race. And Space Coast third leg is into the pool, followed by Melbourne. And it's now a Space Coast Melbourne race, but Space Coast is really pulling away right here. Space Coast is about a full swimmer's length ahead of Melbourne. Kick of the wall. Melbourne and Merritt Island were battling it out here at the beginning of this race, and then Space Coast kept their pace and were able to make up a lot of ground there on that second leg of this relay. Space Coast ready to take their fourth leg. And that was a little bit of a belly flop. I don't know how he's not affected by that. Then again, maybe he's got the ab muscles to not be bothered by it. Space Coast with now a dominating lead. They're going to come back to you one more time and then swim away. Space Coast. Look at that flip. And the Space Coast Vipers will take the first heat. The Cape Coast Conference record for this race, it was set by Rockledge last year with a 3:11.14. Of course, you can probably, I believe Elliot Weissel was on that relay team. And again, Space Coast takes this one, followed up by Melbourne. Now we're on to heat number 2. In lane 1, Bayside. In lane 2, Cocoa Beach. Lane 3, Edgewood. In lane 4, Rockledge. In lane 5, Titusville. Lane 6, Satellite. Lane 7, Vieira. And lane 8, West Shore. In the final race of the day, as they're finishing up heat number 1. Folks, it has been awesome hanging out with you here on the Brevard Sports Network. Thank you for making us a part of your Friday, whether you're at work, at home, maybe you're out running errands, but still have us on in the background. This has been a fun 2 days. Again, coming up, Friday Night Football, we got Vieira versus Bayside, Cocoa versus Seminole. And we have one more game that for some reason is slipping my mind at the moment. But here we go, the final race of the day. And the Struble chant has rung through the Cocoa Aquatic Center, just like it did when Matt Struble was racing. And out in front looks to be the Rockledge Raiders. Rockledge followed up by Titusville, followed up by Edgewood. And here Rockledge in first, Edgewood and Titusville fighting for second place as people keep testing how waterproof our equipment is. Rockledge's second leg, warming up the dance moves. Rockledge into the pool. Titusville and Edgewood also into the pool. Also into the pool is Satellite. Satellite overtakes third from Titusville. Titusville and Satellite battling for third. In second currently is Edgewood. The Raiders have the lead. The Rockledge Raiders currently in first, followed up by a two-way tie for second. Satellite, Titusville, Edgewood all fighting for second place. Rockledge with their third leg ready to enter the pool. Rockledge with their third leg into the pool. Edgewood, Titusville, Satellite all into the pool. And the Rockledge Raiders still out ahead. Titusville jumps into second, followed by Edgewood, followed by Satellite. Rockledge still out in first by about a quarter of a swimmer's length. Titusville and Edgewood fighting for second, trying to catch the Raiders. The Raiders first the kick, then Titusville, then Edgewood. Titusville closing in the gap on Rockledge. Who enters the pool first? Rockledge, then Titusville, then Edgewood. Satellite enters in fourth. And it's an all-out sprint here, folks. The Raiders still in the lead. Titusville's trying to close the gap. Edgewood trying to close the gap on Titusville. The Raiders still out in first, but Titusville's not far behind. It's going to be close, ladies and gentlemen. The Raiders, followed by Titusville, followed by Edgewood. The Raiders out in front, halfway through the end of this race. Titusville's closing, but the Rockledge Raiders. The Rockledge Raiders, followed by Titusville, followed by Edgewood. Folks, what a race. Satellite comes in fourth. What a race to end the day. Wow, folks, what a race. What a day. Wow. So they're going to calculate the points. I'm going to mute and find out what's going on. We're going to stay live for the announcing of the results. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a day. And the day is just beginning. There's been many great races that we watched. Wow. And wow. Thank you very much. It does. It does. It lets the people at home feel the energy. I'm yelling into the microphone, so I'm not gonna lie. All right, folks, come on, no, okay. As someone left their. What a day, ladies and gentlemen. What a day it has been. And you know what? Our device is only overheated once. And you know what? I will take that all day. Actually, so folks, here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to end the broadcast, and then we'll come back live when they announce the results right here on the Brevard Sports Network.